All right. All right. Let's do this. I'm not in the mood today. Telling you that now. I'm in a not good mood. So I need some distractions. I need some positives. I need some joking around. Something to get me out of this funk. I need to get some writing. That will distract me as well. If I can spell, Morazov. Keep doing that one wrong. What's up, Keith? Guy's name is Morazov. Last name. Russian. But I keep typing Moravaz. Bad news for me. What's the bad news? This is what I need. Fucking bad news today. Got notes from a previous video I just watched. Maple syrup is a condiment. Maple syrup is not a condiment. It's syrup. Don't be fucking Chad. If you know me, you know the simple rule is it's a condiment if I don't eat it. Salsa, not a condiment. Maple syrup, not a condiment. Barbecue sauce, not a condiment. Ketchup, mustard, relish, mayonnaise, all condiments. That's it. Today's not the day to pick a fight with me, Keith. Today's not the day. Just having a very, very, very shitty morning. You're not worth it. Simply put, my wife's, I don't want to say too much. Basically, my wife's getting jerked around at her job by people who shouldn't even matter. She's been there 20 years. And people who haven't been there way less than a third of that time are just being jerks for her for no reason. She was supposed to get a couple of new properties, and then they're pushing against it. They don't want her to get these properties, and they're making up bullshit excuses. And nobody above her at this point, her boss, is not doing the right thing and saying, "Hey, she's been here 20 years and she's doing a great job. We've never had a complaint." So they want to hire someone who will kiss their ass. That's the bottom line. These are very insecure people, um, a group of them, and they she doesn't kiss their ass, and she calls on their BS if they're doing stuff. She's like, that's illegal. That's morally not right. We can't do these things. So they want to replace her with somebody who can sit in their office in Atlanta and they can boss around, and she is not going to be bossed around. So, but she took the cat this morning to get her booster shot, and then she came back and she was sitting in the car for like 45 minutes, and I'm like, something's going on, and she came in very upset because of these people, and now she's freaking out. She's like, "Am I going to lose my job? 20 years? There's no way I'm going to make the money they're paying me in another job." And of course, that puts way a lot of stress on me because I ain't making hardly any money. So it's just, and she hits me with all this, and then she's like, "Well, have fun on YouTube Live. I'm going to work." And I'm like, "All right, yeah, this is going to be nice. This is going to be an easy day." I was actually getting some writing in this morning. I did like 2,000 words this morning, and now this shit. So I'm just gonna put my head down, and that's why I say today's not the day to argue about condiments or any bullshit. And I'm sure everything will work out. It always does, right? Hopefully. But just in the meantime, it's going to be very stressful. And then starting tomorrow until Monday night, she will be at her mom's. So no, you don't need to apologize, Keith. I'm just glad Chad wasn't in already to also be a dick about it, because he is ridiculous when it comes to if I say, "Oh yeah, so I got whatever, I put barbecue sauce on my burger or my French fries," he's, "Well, that's a condiment," but shut up. Because we care. Yeah, Chad is, today's not the day to fuck with me. I've just had a very shitty morning. So, Taze, let's all just talk about things to distract me, and maybe I can get some writing in. 1 cup of coffee again today. My stomach has been queasy all week. I'm like, maybe I should slow down with 2 and 3 and 4 cups of coffee a day. I do my coffee in the morning at 9 o'clock or whatever, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm done. There's Charlie. I'm doing lemonade and I'm doing water, lemon flavored water. So there you go. So that's all. So today is let's have a good day. Let's have a positive Thursday. I am at 23,000 words on this mammoth book now. So I can kind of see where the end is. I probably have about 5 chapters left. And I had sausage and hot dog buns for lunch, and now I'm burping that up. Keith says, I managed another 1,000 words on Memoir of a Monster Book 4, so you already beat me with your morning writing. You beat me yesterday or the day before. I did nothing. I think Monday I did nothing. How many books is that going to be? How many books are you writing in that series? Chad, I want to know that I watch The Young and the Restless every day with Lisa. Nice. That's why you two are still in love. Bonding moments like that. Not cruising her underfoot, crushing her underfoot. Keith says the shoes could potentially go forever. I have one more definite. Yes, we're in love, but I make her pay. Whatever it takes. I put her through Flash Gordon and she hated it. I put her through Krull, she hated it. Yeah, you really got to be a super nerd to like those movies. Give me some suggestions for this weekend to rise her ire. I mean, you pick two really good ones right there. Has she watched? Have you put her through uh, any of the Conan movies or John Carter, Warlord of Mars one, or what's that other one that I just thought of and I forgot? Highlander. This girl is walking around in a long t-shirt and her underwear and no shoes on. That's got to be hot out there. It's 80 degrees. That street's got to be hot. Yes, even the barbarians with the twins. Oh my God, she loved it. All classics, right? No. All those 80 movies from back then are just ridiculously good and bad. Hmm. Made her watch the Deathstalker series as she's already groaning about the remake on that. Nice. What about Highlander? Did you make her watch that? That's a good one. There can only be one, Lisa. There can only be one. The original Death Race 2000. He says, "Not with me. That might have to be the one." He goes, I see what you did there. Have you seen the new Deathstalker yet? How is it? He says, "We own Death Race on DVD and it pains her." Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that painting her. Good news. Uh, I was at 18,846 subscribers yesterday. Today I'm at this morning 21,333. So literally in the past 2 days, I've gained 5,000 subscribers, which is insane. Another 2,500 yesterday. I also gained. I'm at 3,659 hours. So I gained another 26 hours yesterday. That's 5 days ago. That would have been Saturday. So my goal is 20 today and 20 tomorrow. So I'm already a little over that today, which is good. If I can get 20 or more tomorrow, that would be really good. So I need 300 and something hours. So Keep watching, people. Keep watching. I know in another 8 days is that awful shark movie. Something else is coming. Come on. Tom hasn't written his chapter. I was hoping he did before he went away tomorrow. Maybe he'll surprise me. Who knows? Chad, I did the Henry Rollins thing this morning. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go through this closet of 5,000 t-shirts. I'm gonna grab another black t-shirt. I got three of these. I wore one the last couple days. You know what? I'm gonna put it back on, and I'm not going anywhere. I'll probably wear it tomorrow as well. Just all black t-shirts this week. Just plain black tees. That way I don't have to go through the cousins. Like I have 300 black t-shirts, or let me pick the next one. I also got to do a writing video for tomorrow and for Sunday. My wife hits me with this stuff, and I mean, I know she needs to vent, and that's what I'm here for. But then I own it for the rest of the day. Like if she goes to work today and then everything's fine, or she forgets about it and she just does her job and whatever. But then the rest of the day, I'm worried these assholes in Atlanta are going to screw her over, and then screw me over, and then my good life goes down the drain. That's why I need these hours. Everybody, it's important. I need to start making some money on YouTube. I have a very expensive lifestyle. I need to uphold here. Probably need to start needing to sell all these Funko Pops and all this crap sooner than later. Put that money in the bank. Keeps I deal with jealous pricks here too, all threatened by me. It's probably the same for Shelly, and it's exhausting. It's just people who don't know how to do their jobs. It's a group. It's like three or four of them that don't know how to do their jobs, and their boss is a jerk. Their boss is the guy who loves to scream and yell at people to make them cry, to feel better about himself. And the problem is, it's a commercial property manager. This is an industrial group, so they only do warehouses and stuff like that in Atlanta, and they have a lot of properties, and they generate her company a ton of money. So the two bosses that are left, there used to be four bosses. The other two were great. These two are just now, I'm getting old and I just want to make as much money as possible before we retire or sell the company kind of attitude. So they don't care what you're doing as long as the bottom line is you're making money. And Shelly will not kiss their ass. She will not kowtow to their demands, and they don't follow up. And it's just a nightmare for her working with these people. And so they're like, "Oh, she doesn't come to Atlanta enough." She's like, "I'm there every month." She doesn't come to the office. She's like, "Do you want me to be at the properties and do my job, or do you want me to come and hang out and have coffee with you?" Like it makes no sense. So, and they don't necessarily. None of them want her job. They want to put somebody in her job that they can control. They want somebody in Atlanta in their office so they could tell them what to do. So she's supposed to get properties in Kansas City and Minnesota, and they've gone back and forth for a year, on and on. And now they're like, well, May 1st is where we're turning the property over to her, but we don't want her to get it because she's not going to travel enough, and we want her to go to Minnesota and Kansas City every month. And she's like, that makes no sense. She's like, I'll do every 6 to 8 weeks. That's all you need. I've been doing this for 20 years, so it's just that. It's just a big fight. So I shouldn't even be saying any of this stuff, but so obviously it's on my mind because God forbid if something happens, then we are screwed. We only have so much in savings. We only have so much, and we have our overhead is ridiculous. So if I could just get monetized on YouTube and make, I don't know, $10,000 to $400,000 a month, I think we would be fine. Or people start buying my damn books. I mean, I know you guys have bought some copies, which I appreciate, but I need I need way more books purchased because last month was a last 2 months were a mess with sales. A nightmare. Yeah, nightmare. Speaking of a nightmare, here's Nick. There's Nick. What's up, Nick? He says, I didn't read last night with the shuttle and the double episode of Daredevil, but I'll do the review tour when I'm done with Seal the Deal. Appreciate it. You were on the shuttle? I have not. I have not watched any of the. I watched all like Daredevil and stuff when that was on Netflix, but and I liked it. I liked all the them. I mean, they were various differences from the comic book, and I was a total geek. Drove my wife nuts. I'm like, see the lady who just lost her arm? She gonna have a baby with him. Blah blah. Blah. And she's like, I don't care. But I will not pay for Disney. I don't want to watch HBO Max, any of those. So no worse outside watching with the neighbors, just hanging out watching the thing because it's like in your backyard basically. Nick says, I think it's time to put my Shelly use and go to Minnesota for her. There you go. They even friggin' give it to her at this point. But she has like nothing to do at work. She's helping the two girls who work for her. She's helping with their stuff. But she's like, I just don't have enough work. They've sold so many properties without buying new properties. And so I need work. She needs to be busy. She's not the kind of person who's like, I'm just gonna go, hey, I collect a paycheck for nothing. You know? Hmm. So just, in a mood. Let me get some more dumb writing in. Nick says, I watched Guitar Meets Science about Vinnie Vincent. I learned he's nuts. Did you really have to watch that to know? I could have told you that one. Okay. Maybe got big weekend plans coming up. Maybe do anything fun and special for Easter. I'm literally doing nothing for Easter. Nick says, and Keith, my imaginary girlfriend, loved Flash Gordon and never thought she would. Keith says, I'm so jealous. No plans here. He said, I didn't know Vinny did a show in Nashville on a tank. I don't even know what that is. Oh, my subscription renewal for Duotrope coming up. I'm sure it's Nick says going to a new accountant for taxes on Saturday because your other one passed away, right? Nick, you can now get those silicone lips for your cell phone. Have fun. What the hell? All I wanted to do was. Yeah, so that one is that has expired. Okay. So I'm glad I checked. Glad I checked. Troy says, we're going to visit our parents this weekend. I'm excited because I am off for 4 days straight. Took a couple of vacation days. Need a break big time. Very cool. Have fun. Enjoy that. Keith says, got to love those Chinamen. Vinnie Vincent played a show with Ace Frehley and Bruce Kulick in Nashville. He played in a big tank while the other guys played under him. That seems awesome. Or not. That does not seem awesome. That was on the guitar meet signs. Like that's the big fact you're going to put on there. And I haven't watched those in a long time. It's just the AI of it and the mispronouncing names and stuff. It's starting to get annoying with it. I'm like, dude, you can't like you're. I guess you're so lazy you're using AI, so you can't like go through this and I don't know, change some lines. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on for 2 hours today, to be honest with you. Ches, I think the challenge of doing this novelization has made me a better writer. It has forced me so far outside my comfort zone in both the genre and the arduous task of novelizing what I see. So, where are you in it at this point? You've obviously got the first draft done. You're going through it a second time, or have you gone through it a third or ninth time? Nick says they went over the 2 million album, but you already know that. Charlie says also, Chad, are you writing from watching the movie or from reading the script? Chad says there's anything I hate in fiction is reading or writing action scenes. Fistfights, gunfights, and explosions. This book is loaded with them. I'm nearing the second draft, Armand, then I'll do a quick third just for proofing and grammar stuff. So good luck with it. Hopefully you just knock that out. It's the way I feel about this mammoth book right now. 23,000 of 30,000 words done. Probably got about 5 chapters to go. Whoa, what was that word? Chance, I wasn't given the screenplay, so it's all from getting on Tubi and watching the movie over and over again, but I'm proud of it, but that's because they let me take a ton of liberties. A movie like that, they probably didn't even have a screenplay. It was like, all right, Bob, in this scene, you're going to do this. Sally, you do this. Just improvise. Frank says, what an ain't mediocre Thursday. Says, I couldn't take those same liberties when I novelized the unproduced screenplay. I hated that book when I turned it in. This one I don't. Well, that's good. Is that a Fairly Odd Parents hat? I wish. This is a New Orleans Baby Cakes hat. That used to be the AAA of the Marlins, Miami Marlins, and then they don't have a team anymore in New Orleans. Yeah, those people. It was one of those where I just grabbed a hat and just put it on with my black Henry Rollins shirt from the Henry Rollins collection of black T-shirts. I guy could make a killing if he did his own T-shirt line. It's like, here's a pack of 3 Henry Rollins T-shirts, 2 black and a gray. Frank says the Savannah Banana guy didn't buy them and turn them into the New Orleans titty flashers. I don't believe so. Chet says from the Black Tag collection. I see what you did there. Of course, then Greg would try to sue him for that. What the hell is that word? Oh. My problem is when there is a problem, I can't ever just let it go. So now all I can think of is my wife and these assholes at her job. Come on. Have you found the new therapist yet? No, I haven't looked. It seems like a lot of it seems like a lot of work. I guess if I knew this bullshit was going to happen this morning with my wife, then I would have been like, you know what? I'm glad I got a my new therapist starts today. But no, I feel like sooner than later. I feel like at some point, but then again, now I gotta wait. I don't know if they're gonna screw my wife out of her job, so I can't take on another bill right now. Nick says I was going to guess his hat is some minor league team called the Hoboken Stink Rats. No, no, that's more of a red that has more red in it. The Stink Rats. was looking at watching MLB Network last night, and they had the Brewers game on. And my wife said, "Oh, Wisco." I said, "Yes, Wisco." Speaking of bad baseball, the Tigers need to up their game. They came out swinging and have lost the last 4 games. The Red Sox have lost the last 5. They won the opener, and they have looked awful since. I mean, getting swept by the Astros, unforgivable. Is that your main team, the Red Sox? Yes, that's my always been my team since I was 5 years old. 1975 Red Sox. I follow the Tigers because my dad's a Tiger fan, obviously. So I always, if he was still around, we would be talking about McGonigal and Verlander coming back. We would have talked about all this stuff. I won't say how the Yanks are doing. It's still really early in the season, Frank. Calm down. How'd they do last year, huh? Oh, they won this. They won the World Series. No, they weren't in it. Just getting out some anger. It has nothing to do with you, Frank. I am making some headway on this stupid Mammoth book, though. Charlie says, when I used to watch MLB, I was a Mets fan. How are they doing? Let me sum up the Mets season every year. They spend a ton of money on players they think are going to put them over the top, and then those players do poorly, and then ownership is awful, and then the team always just misses the playoffs. They give a Mets fan just enough rope to hang themselves. That's the Mets. And that's been the Mets for years. Nick says, no one calls it Wisco, but Shelly can. Yeah. She said it ironically, to be honest with you. That I'm not upset about not keeping up with them. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Holy cow, both the Yanks and the Astros killing it. Relax, guys. 6 games into the season, not a big deal. The New York Mets, am I right? It takes a special breed of person to be a Mets fan. Marlins and Brewster. And again, Marlins, it's who you've played the first few games. The Marlins had Alcantara play 2 brilliant games he pitched, but he's not going to keep that up. He's going to actually probably just going to get hurt like he does every other year. So the Marlins aren't going anywhere. We're talking the All-Star break. Then you start going, oh, look at this team or that team. Just as there you go, Armand. Marlins are a Florida team. You can root for them. I don't root for any New York team, any New Jersey team, or any Florida team really. The Devils, I rooted for because they used to go to the games, and Jacksonville, the Jumbo Shrimp. But the football team is the worst team ever. Let's see who has the worst record in baseball in the last 10 years. Between April 2nd, 2016 and April 2nd, 2026, Chicago White Sox have the worst record by a team. 651 and 872 losses. White Sox, Rockies, Royals, Pirates, Marlins are fifth. Tigers are sixth. Angels, Orioles, Reds, Athletics, Rangers, Nationals, Diamondbacks, Padres, Twins, Giants. Mets are 17th. There's 774 wins, 750 losses. But again, they're winning games, just not important games when they have to. It gives you your top 25. Red Sox are 24. So we're missing, obviously we're missing the Dodgers, Yankees. First, I would have guessed Royals. Yeah, but the Royals had a couple of decent seasons in the last 10 years. I mean, they're still number 3. I mean, there's still 670 wins. The Rockies have 657, and the Rockies and the White Sox the last 2 years they both had some really, really awful 120 lost seasons. So, I mean, the Pirates only have 2 more wins than the Royals. Marlins only have 1 more win than the Pirates. Tigers only have 680 wins. So, let's do the worst record in football in the last 10 years. This will come as no shock at all. The last 10 years, okay? So 100 and how many? Let's look. 165 games. 165 games, right? Frank says, I like the Jim Leland mitts. Who doesn't? Him sitting in the dugout smoking? Chad says, dang, both Sox are 1-5 right now. Right. But the White Sox should be 1-5, not the Red Sox. The right and the left. Both of the Sox. I got it. Both Sox. So many Jersey teams to root for. Don't say Jags. Don't say Jags. Keith's a Jags fan. Frank says Lions. Chuck barely roots for Rutgers. The number 1 worst football team in the last 10 years with 49 wins and 116 losses, the Jets. Number 2, the Giants with 55 wins. Then the Browns, the Panthers, the Cardinals, the worst team ever. I hate all their fans, except for you, Keith. The Jaguars, number 6, 63 wins. Number 8, the Raiders, my Raiders, 68 wins. We got more wins than the Jaguars. So it's all there. The Lions are number 16. Lions have had a couple of decent, they've been in the playoffs a couple, 3 times. Even as much as everybody hates the Cowboys, they still have a winning record, 96 and 68, number 23. Ooh. Just as Lions is the first team I thought of. Because you're used to all those really, really bad years, but they've had some good years. Keith says, not a Jags fan, just that they're moving to Orlando next year for a temp stay. And you know what? They'll finally sell out. They were the worst. What was it? They were the only team in the NFL that did not sell out every home game. I mean, dude, you got 8 home games, and it only got 6 here because they played 2 across the pond. Frank says, if I were a football fan, I'd be a Jets fan. That sounds about right. Normally, you're a Jets and Mets fan, or you're a Giants Yankees fan, right? Or no, my brother's a Jets Yankees fan. Keith is hoping they might boost a little economy. We can get the property tax reduced like DeSantis promised. Yeah, I got promised a lot of stuff. First is the nearly 2026 champion Jaguars. No. I would have guessed the Cincinnati Speedballs. Charlie says, I'm a Saints fan. We had one good decade. We were trash before, and we're trash again. Yeah. Yeah, the Saints, not all that. Number 21, 92 and 73 in the last 10 years. So they have a winning record, almost 20 games. Yeah, Yanks, Devils, Jets fan would be mega odd. Yeah. Yeah, usually it's, what is it? It's usually Yankees, Rangers, right? Yankees, Rangers, Giants, I would imagine. Although it's a coin flip between the Jets and the Giants at this point. You know what I mean? Like the Giants literally have 6 more wins than the Jets in the last 10 years. Let's see the worst record in hockey, because we might as well just keep doing this. I need the distraction. NHL worst record. The Coyotes, 245 and 307. The Devils are number 9. They're 348 and 346. So they're 2 wins over. Ched says, I admire the East Coast team pride. I mean, some of yous is too dumb to pump your own gas, but I dig the tribal pride vibe. Yeah. Okay. The Lions fans is also a dumb fan base too. I'm not saying the East Coast fan bases aren't dumb, but you can't act like you got a great fan base out there. Frick says, Devils are weird because it's me and 5 guys in Central Jersey that root for them, and then it's either Rangers or Flyers in Jersey. Nobody in Jersey roots for the Islanders, though. No, you got to live on Long Island. Devils 9th worst, Flyers 12th, Mammoth 14, Islanders 16, Rangers 18. Worst record in highlight. No. Let's just do basketball. I don't follow basketball. Might as well just do the sweep, though. You know what I'm saying? The Wizards. Worst team last 10 years. 307 wins, 493 losses. The Nets are number 5. The Knicks are number 10. Lakers are 19. Lakers aren't doing all that great, I guess. The Islanders, who play in Brooklyn now. Do they? I've not followed any of that stuff. Like when I was looking at that, I'm like, I don't even know who Mammoth is. Who the Mammoth? I thought that was what's his name band. I remember my boss was very upset when the Nets moved to Brooklyn. He had season tickets, him and 5 other people. This just does not want to open. Do most Yorks and Jerseys have thick skin? Seems like most don't bother to get too offended by a middle finger or a good tongue lashing. Not because we're doing it to each other. I told you, my favorite thing my wife ever saw is we were in New Jersey, maybe the 2nd or 3rd year of doing Beers and Fears, where we're in Highlands, we're driving, and there's a cop parked blocking traffic. And this guy in a pickup tries to go around the cop car. And the cop steps out and he says, "Where the fuck are you going?" And she goes, "Oh my God, the cop just cursed." I'm like, everybody curses. And the guy's like, "I'm just fucking going this." He's like, "No, you're fucking going this way. Fucking go around my fucking car. You're going that way now. And get in line with everybody else." That's the way to do it. She's like, they said like the F word like 10 times. I'm like, and? Frank says, Islander played in Brooklyn for a few years, but they're kind of back on the island now. Staten Island. Staten Island Islanders. I just call it Staten Islanders. Like the dirty people who live there. That cop is not good. Yeah, he's not good for my algorithm at all. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for screwing up my algorithm. Long weekend? What the hell are you talking about? Long weekend? Nobody's off on Monday. I might be at like 30,000 followers by the time I get monetized. Where's basketball Supersonics? Haven't won a game in a decade. For instance, they play in Elmont, New York, which is more Queens than Long Island, if you ask me. What are they doing? At this point, just completely change the name. Someone was arguing about online. They were talking football. They were talking when, I'm a Raiders fan. I go into like the couple of different fan-sided groups, and they were talking about the who's the best New York football team, and they were arguing Jets or Giants, and somebody came in and said the Buffalo Bills are easily the best New York team, and somebody said they're not in New York. And then about 1,000 people said Buffalo, New York. They are in New York. And then they were like, well, they don't play in Manhattan. And then the people said the Jets and the Giants don't even play in New York. What point are you trying to make? Queens. Yeah, that's the name. Boom. I'd go to see them. So my How I Find Time to Write video got 2,285 views so far. So that's one that's doing pretty good. My How I've motivated myself to write every day from like a week ago, 21,796 views so far. Nice. Seems like most writers come from either the East or the Midwest. I'd like to see the state. Jamie, pull up those stats. I don't even know how to fiction writers. Where are most fiction writers? Let me spell this right. Born. We'll do that. A state by state survey. All right, this is the AI thing. So who knows if this is right or not? What the hell are you doing, dude? Oh, he's coming in. He's wearing his scrubs, walking his bulldog. He's looking at the books, and then he just kept walking. Come on, read a little, buddy. Many prominent historically recognized fiction writers were born in major urban or culturally established areas, particularly London, which is a significant global hub. In the United States, New England, especially Massachusetts, is a major birthplace for acclaimed literature, with New York City serving as a dominant hub for authors born between 1800 and 1950. Roughly 23% of top living U.S. bestselling authors are from New England, representing a high concentration of literary talent relative to its population. Key U.S. birth locations beyond New England and New York City, high numbers of Pulitzer Prize-winning fiction and poetry writers were born in states like Minnesota, Iowa, and Indiana. Just because there's nothing else to do in those states. International hubs, London has long been recognized as a top global source for famous authors. Ireland and France are also noted for producing high volumes of acclaimed literary authors. While many are born in these locations, many authors migrate to major hubs like New York City, driven by publishing opportunities, social scenes, and economic factors. Frank says, it was at 1700 when I watched this morning. It just keeps going, man. Chess is in the U.S. Okay, you know what? We'll change this. All right. You know, next time, give me all the criteria. Where do most writers live in the U.S.? You ready? Are you ready? What does this give me? This just has states and then who was born in those states. S. Scott Fitzgerald, Truman Capote, born in Alabama. Oh, these are where they live. These are residences. Some California, Connecticut. Florida has Hemingway, Zora Neale Hurston, Jack Kerouac, Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. Why is Flannery O'Connor twice in Georgia? I guess she moved at some point and came back. Birthplace of Hemingway is Illinois. Nick says, I thought everyone that writes only lives in New York City. Chester says, there's a ton of writers in PA too, like Bowden, Keene, Ford, Hunter Shea, Luther Fuse. Yeah, we're talking about actual writers people would know. None from Michigan or Wisconsin. New York City smells like weed. Yeah, so does New Orleans. A handful of us in Michigan, myself, Josh Malin, Phil Frizzi, Austin, Texas. Not to say I'm on par with them, but I do write words. Frank says Knoxville, Tennessee. There's only two. One of them writes about babies fighting on page 81, and then that other guy. Maine, that Steve King guy. Maryland, Eddie Poe. Yeah, lots in Massachusetts. Michigan, Hemingway lived everywhere. Theodore Rothke. He lived in 1911 and 1925. New Jersey. Stephen Crane began his writing career in Asbury Park in his Asbury Park house in the 1880s. Walt Whitman in Camden, New Jersey, the only house that Whitman owned. They named the bridge after him. William Carlos Williams. He was a poet in 1911. And Frank Edler, Dave the Snake Sabo. And then all these guys are all, like New York is Poe, Twain, Whitman, but they're obviously in a bunch of other different places. Pennsylvania is Rachel Carson, Pearl S. Buck, and John Updike. No John Bowden on this list. It's funny, it's like they took a handful of writers and then nobody, and that was it. Chismar, you. Ivanovic, Whitman, Edler. Oh. What is that little weird symbol that you guys keep doing there? I don't know what that is. Do you see it? This chick is wearing just a t-shirt and underwear walking around barefoot. Where have you been? Like that was like a half an hour ago. You've been walking around the streets like this? What's wrong with you? When I said stats on writers, I didn't mean a bunch of dead guys that none of us read. Well, I mean, I'm looking when I'm looking. Don't fuck with me today. I mean, they're just giving famous authors. When you guys are famous. And there's this weird symbol that pops up. Frank, when you said Chismar and then Chad said EU, there was like this weird looks like somebody lifting a picnic table over their head. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Top birthplaces for fiction authors, according to a survey of major literary figures. New York 71, California 29, Illinois 28, Pennsylvania 24, Massachusetts 20. Doesn't tell you who or anything about it. It's Big Brother watching me after I used Chiz. I guess so. It's kind of funny that you're irritated that we're not famous. We should all be famous. No, I mean all I can do is look this shit up. Don't shoot the messenger here, Chad. Don't be a dick to me today. I'm taking everything anybody says wrong today, just so you know. So they give you the quintessential writer for each reason, but these are all old dead people. I give up on that. This is what I didn't even say that point that arrow at Frank. Here's the mailman with more junk. Professor gotta profess. Guess so. I was going to make Elio's pizza today for lunch, but then I realized, no, I broke 2 spatulas, and now we're down to 1 spatula. We lost the spatula. I think four spatulas is the right number of spatulas to have in your house, and now we're down to 1. For instance, you can blame me. I can take it. Can you though? Because I hear you crying at night. Whew. Nick, did you watch Oak Island this week? Did you see where they found the treasure? They're all millionaires now. You break the spatula on the Elios? Yeah, so this is what I did. I guess you weren't in on that day. You were busy working. I put it on a cookie sheet. Some people say cooking sheet. I say cookie sheet because I make cookies on it and then Elio's pizza. But I didn't spray it or anything. Not thinking. I just threw it on there. 9 pieces, and it's just 3 pieces, but they say 9. Take it out of the oven. It's cooked. Take the spatula, and it's just fused to the metal. And so I start scraping, and it's the plastic one. It breaks, just shatters. So I got to make sure none of the little pieces are on the pizza now. I throw it out. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I get the other one. I'm like, well, this is one has the heavier handle. It's also red. And I start scraping, and I get like half of the first piece, and then I'm doing a little bit, and it handle snaps right off of it. I'm like, son of a bitch. So now I get the scraper for the hibachi, which is solid metal, and I'm like, this better work. And I'm cutting the crap out of it. It was half the pizza still on the whole bottom of the pizza still on the cookie sheet. It was just a nightmare. Nick said, I haven't seen Oak Island, won't be able to until next week. How many shoes this week? No shoes this week. They did find a lot of 7-sided stakes. And I believe that was it. They keep digging these giant holes and then going all the way down to the solution channel. Well, this is it. This is it, Gary. Every time, this is it. We're going to pull out gold, baby. Silver, baby. Nothing. I'm like, stop jinxing it. So they literally got nothing this whole week. And now they're complaining because winter's coming. Storms are coming. We only have a couple more weeks to doing this. So we're going to get to the end. And then they're digging. They moved the giant rock. And Fiona keeps digging and digging down and finding all kinds of different clay and things. And I'm like, who gives a shit? What you need to do is take the backhoe and scoop all that fucking rocks out of there and see if there's anything down there or not. Who cares about somebody build something? Who cares? Frank says, I listened to the last podcast on the left covered John DuPont and wound up watching the Foxcatcher doc on Netflix. I don't know how that doc snuck by me. I never saw that either. I know they made a movie, I think, with Steve Carell. They made a movie about it, and then there was a documentary, but it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I think I know enough about it. Chest-sided spatula that's unbreakable. I've had it for 30 years and used it numerous times to edge my driveway and walkways, as well as removal of hardened food on everything. Still used to cook. And that's, you know what? You hold on to that. You get buried with that thing. That spatula breaks, I'll never be able to replace it. Frank says, yeah. Yeah, I've never seen that documentary either. It's a wild story. I don't remember when it had happened. I think I remember when it happened. I think, and I was like, yeah, I know enough about this. Like there's been like several books, a couple publishers in the last year have wanted to give me send me nonfiction. That Murdaugh book, the lawyer in South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, and his crappy family who murdered the wife or whatever it was. And I'm like, I don't want to read that. I've seen like 4 or 5 different investigation discovery shows on it. I don't want to sit down and read 400 pages about it. And so starting tomorrow, my wife is gone until Monday night. So I got 4 days. Saturday I'm going to go see my mom though. That's a definite. So I got 3 days on my own to do some writing, to watch some TV shows, stop being so mad at everything. If I had cash, I would sneak to the store and buy some cosmic brownies. So my wife is wisened up and she doesn't give me cash anymore. Now my leg itches. Ugh. Just as you're not going to believe this, but I joined another book, another one. That's three now. This one just finished Swan Song and Gone with the Wind, and they're doing Lonesome Dove. Lots of cool classics. For instance, my wife flies back into Jersey tonight, so they keep delaying, but they keep delaying her flight. That's not good. Chad, what's up with all the books? You got to read all these books. When do they meet? Like once a month? Like once a month you talk about these, or like is like a weekly thing? How does this work? Just I'm not sure I can do Jane Eyre. It's too dense for my brain. I don't want to read that slow. Yeah. He says, start pitching them books from this club, will you, Chad? Just as for Jane Eyre, we're meeting 5 times over like a 2 month period. The all ladies one is 3 books a month. And this new one is a slower pace. That's a lot. It just seems like a lot. I don't like even just saying I'm going to write. I mean, I'm going to read this, and this month. I don't like that because I'm like I'm going to go to something else. Just as I could pitch thrillers in the all female one, they don't even know I'm an author. I can tell they'd get a kick out of it. A bunch of friendly women. Nice. I started reading that, like whatever it's called, Drunken Days or whatever, the nonfiction book about writers getting getting drunk, and I had to stop. I'm like, this is very dense. This guy loves using big words. Every sentence has some giant word in it for no reason, and it's not like he's talking about each individual. Like, there's not a chapter on Hemingway and him getting drunk or anything. It's literally like a 200-page book, and it's 3 parts. And the first, I don't know, 80 pages or whatever the hell it is just this guy talking about himself and his childhood and on and on. And he's an old guy and he's talking about all old. And I'm like, This isn't interesting. Somebody told me this would be interesting. Just says, yeah, me too. I'm a mood reader, but I wanted to challenge myself, which sometimes is good to do. I'm not in that I want to challenge myself. I'm in that I just want to read a good book. I'm reading I started I think a horror anthology instead last night. Because again, I'm just like I don't want to read this heady. That's a good word, heady. I don't want to read this big heady thing. Hedy Lamar. Chez is going to pitch you an idea. Tell me what you think. I'm not sold on it myself, but it's an idea. Nick says, while you've been chatting, I installed a new deadbolt lock on the front door so your keys won't work anymore, stalkers. Yeah. I hope you put bars on the windows, motherfucker, because I'm coming through the window middle of the night. Might not be this night, but it will be a night. Definitely not during the day. I might just headbutt my way into the window too. I think that would be cool. A couple of people now have restacked my book review of Chad's book. That's nice. When are you going to pitch me this idea, Chad? Oh, here we go. A series of skull-faced boy titles, but it's post-apocalypse, and now he's a nomad running into all kinds of challenges and weirdness. I'd read it. As long as you can keep it to that feel of the first book, I'm in. Charlie says it sounds cool. Say no more then, you know what I'm saying? Ugh. Vignitz. I'm not big on sequels or stories that have been told, but I really miss Levi and his adventures. Yeah, I think if you throw him into something else, this is what you do. You start the book. Where is he? He ends up in California, if I seem to remember. You start the book there, and he's like, I want to go back. And then you just do the book in reverse, going the other way. What if his dad turns out to be a poo head? Dad dies immediately after their hug. What if worse, his dad is a deadhead, and then drags Skullface Boy to the Grateful Dead concert? It's life now fulfilled. What if he's like, I want to go to the Circle Jerks concert? That's the whole thing. That's the whole book. What if you rewrite the nuclear assault book, but with him in the lead, and it's everybody else's fault? Skullface Boy's dad does OnlyFans to feed his heroin habit. If Leva's dad dragged him to a dead show, Leva would run back to the Graham Jones foster care. There's your book. Or the whole book is just him sitting in a room, staring at himself in the mirror as his skin begins to grow back on his face. And by the end of the book, he's got a full face and he thinks he's ugly. Skullface Boy writes Geezer Butler's autobiography only using lyrics from the Accused songs. God, I would read that book. I'm seriously thinking about wrapping this up. I got no more brain power. I got like 6,500 words or more around roughly to write in this mammoth thing. I do worry about tanning the end of the original. I love the ending and how you're never told what happens between them after that. Now that'd get ruined. But food Google. No, you got to give me something to Google. Could you create a different character, a post-apocalyptic story in with a different character? Top 10 frozen pizza concepts. All right, let's do it. Here's 16 store-bought frozen pizzas ranked worst to best. You ready? How many different types of spatulas are there? There's more than 3. These are ranked worst to best. Number 16, Totino's Party Pizza, which is the square one. This is my wife's favorite. In fact, we have one in the freezer right now. My wife loves these Totino's. That's the only one she buys for herself. Number 15 is Tombstone. Pepperoni. Who actually wants to break into Nick Zinn's house to steal his crap? Yeah. Charlie says Tostinos are the best. Yeah. Apparently they're the worst, according to this person. Home Run Inn, Chicago's premium pizzeria. Cheese pizza is number 14. Number 13, Pep's Draft House. I never even heard of this one. They have the Prohibition Special Pizza with a bunch of shit on it. They become soggy, though. DiGiorno, number 12. I used to love DiGiorno pizza. DiGiorno stuffed crust. Used to love them. And then I'm like, they're getting smaller and they don't taste nearly as good. They don't have enough toppings on it anymore. Number 11 is Red Baron. Chad says, Frank reminded me what we used to do to my science teacher. Someone would raise their hand and ask a random question about science, so he'd just keep talking and we wouldn't get homework. That's what he just did to Armand for bringing up. Exactly. Chad Levi starts the book thinking back on the day as the best day his life would ever be. No mention anymore. Boom. Apocalypse. Chad said so he wouldn't leave. Charlie thinks Red Baron should be way higher. Frank says, it's been a minute since I had a Red Baron. I like Red Baron. I don't think anything wrong. Milton's Craft Bakers. I don't know what this is. Apparently they're at Costco. If cauliflower crust pizza, that's probably why I never got it. Number 9, California Pizza Kitchen. Oh, those are all right. The margarita ones are good for them. With Levi and his old man hit the road together, Skullface versus the New World. Best frozen pizza, Motor City. Frozen even. You just eat it frozen. Pizza Ron Cotton. This is the most authentic Italian pizza on the list. It's imported from the home of pizza. Proudly made in Italy with Mountain Spring Alpine water. This one is a mushroom and truffle pizza. Never had it. Number 7 is Amy's Pizza. It's made with organic ingredients. So it's a healthy option for pizza. How come I haven't heard of most of these? Nick says that at number 1, Hot Pockets. Skullface Boys goes to Costco and tries food samples. There's a brand with screaming in the name, but I don't remember it's called. That is very good. I know what you're talking about. It might be on here. Do they still make Boboli, the pizza that's just a crust? Yes, they do. They always have the crust hanging at the end of the aisle. Chesses then ends up crashing out in the back, living off the food samples for a few days. Screaming Sicilian. Yep, that's it. Number 6 is Sabatasso's. It has humble beginnings in small town Minnesota. It's owned by the same company that owns Red Baron, Freshetta, and Tony's. It's just miniature size pizzas. Number 5, Kirkland Signature. I've had these. These are good from Costco. Not bad at all. Number 4 is Freshetta. They're all right. I don't think they're anything fantastically great. Number 3, Urban Pie, which was my nickname in high school. It's a artisan, steep price tag, and a fancy ingredient list. This one they're picturing has uncured pepperoni. You know what? If cured pepperoni is cheaper, give me that. Number 2, Screamin' Sicilian. The pizza brand with the most aggressive pizza packaging. It does indeed scream at you. Those are pretty good. They have some good toppings on that. I'm not a fan of cheese pizza or pepperoni pizza. I like cheese and pepperoni with other things on my pizza. I normally get like the what do you call it? You know that one, the one with everything on it. Number 1. Frank says, Kirkland. Frank says, no, Mama Celeste. And you get that little symbol again. Swap Freshetta with Red Baron. Chad says, no Chef Boyardee. No Chef Boyardee pizza. Number 1, Authentic Motor City Pizza Company. I don't think I've ever had that. It's at Costco. It is Detroit-style pizza, thick yet crispy crust that is shaped into a rectangle or square. It's the best frozen pizza this person has ever eaten. So there you go. He says, called it. It's a deep dish style. Dude, you did call it. That was the call. The call was made. And guess what? Keith made it. There's other lists here. The 4 best and 5 worst. So the worst is Market Pantry Thin Crust Supreme Frozen Pizza. The best is Kirkland Signature Cauliflower Crust Pizza. Worst is Newman's Own Thin and Crispy Crust Supreme Pizza. I didn't even know that he had a pizza. The best is Freschetta Naturally Rising Crust Supreme Pizza. The worst is Screamin' Sicilian Pizza Supremus Maximus, which that's a delicious pizza. The best is Motor City Pizza Company Supreme. The worst, Trader Joe's Pizza Parlano. It looks very thin. The best is Red Baron Classic Crust Supreme Pizza. That's the one I get. The Supreme. Worst is Totino's Supreme Party Pizza. My wife loves those. Chad's school pizza should have been on there. Yeah, on the best. If I can agree with that, Chad. I always thought they were Elio's. Or at number 1, Kisses, put the X in sec. Yep, that should have been up there. I remember my friend Jim Marino, whenever it was pizza day, he would get pizza and he would get a bunch of napkins and he would put the napkins on top and soak up all the grease. I'm like, that's the best part of the pizza. Like, literally, you soak up all the grease, the pizza just disintegrates. There's literally nothing left of the pizza. What is the number 1 selling frozen pizza? DiGiorno. According to recent data from Instacart, Red Baron has taken the top spot in sales. So there you go. Well, there you go. I have those little. I think they're. I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're Red Baron. I don't know what they're, but they're the little personal pizzas. They come 2 to a box. The Supreme ones. Frank says, now I want to try a Scream Sicilian when death is on the line. Yeah. I like those. Those are good. When I tell my wife about what the bad things they've been saying about Tino, she's gonna be so upset. And once again, Stouffer's French bread pizza is overlooked. That those are good. Those are good. I would tell my wife, I'd be like, listen, don't get me a whole pizza because I'm gonna eat the whole pizza. Then I'm gonna feel like crap. So buy me either those little personal ones or the Stouffer's French bread because those are friggin' delicious. Yesterday she ordered groceries. I said, "Where are you ordering from?" She said, "Why?" I said, "If you're ordering from Walmart, buy me one of those giant Walmart pizzas. If you're ordering from Publix, I want a pub sub. If you're ordering from Winn-Dixie, I want cosmic brownies." She said, "Do you want a pub sub or do you want a pizza?" I said, "You know what? Publix, give me a pub sub and cosmic brownies." She did not get me cosmic brownies, which is probably for the better. But then last night for dinner, I had a pub sub. But see, if we had had this conversation yesterday, I would have said, "Oh, give me the French bread pizza." Because Winn-Dixie cosmic brownies taste better? No, just because I needed to pick something if she was going there. Those are the three places she will place an order. Actually, I think it's just Publix and Walmart she places an order. I don't think she ever places an order from Winn-Dixie. I think she just gets it. I was trying to sneak in cosmic brownies in case you can figure that one out. And she was having none of it. Sorry I wasn't there when you needed me most. You were miles away. I need to listen to more Winger. I'm a big fan of Winger. And not like the big hits. I'm talking about like deep cuts, especially those first 2-3 albums. They got some great deep cut rockin' songs. Red Beach is a phenomenal guitar player to me. I don't care what you think. I was down incognito. That's a great song, right? Ain't that a great song? Catchy tune. Catchy. I keep getting on my Spotify new Helix songs. And they really don't sound like any of the old Helix songs. And I looked at it, I'm like, is this a different band? No, it's the same band. Same singer. It's quality. It is quality. Some good stuff. I remember my second ex-wife. She was we had separated, and she'd gotten her own place a couple 3 towns over, and she was renting from a guy. I forget what his name was. Doesn't really matter. And she's like, "Oh, he works with Kip Winger." And I said, "Oh, that is awesome." Oh, no, wait, it's not 1986 anymore. Who gives a shit? It was like, whatever that was. 2005, maybe? 2006, something around there. Like at that point, I don't think Winger was even touring or recording or anything. Nobody knew what they were doing. Big deal. Then she was like, "Oh, that song that you really like, that Miles Away song? Yeah, he co-wrote it." And I said, "No, he didn't. Red Beach and Kip Winger and whoever wrote it." And she's like, "No, he told me he wrote it." I said, "He could say whatever he wants. You can look it up on Google." And then I looked it up, and I was actually right. I'm like, so he's lying, or you're lying. Or more than likely, you're both lying. I'm going to look that up right now. Miles Away is a power ballad by American rock band Winger from their album In the Heart of the Young. It's Winger's only ever hit single in the UK. The single featured a B-side, All I Ever Wanted, that was never released on any other Winger album or compilation, though it did appear in demo form on the Demo anthology. Originally written by Paul Taylor during the early 80s, he offered this song to Eric Martin, later of Mr. Big, who declined even though he knew it would be a hit. He said he wrote Miles Away for his girlfriend, Emmy Cannon, who was one of the Nasty Habits, the background singers for Motley Crue. The song references Just When I Needed You Most by Randy Van Warmer, another Colorado artist. So there you go. That's a good song. Nice. Frank, have you heard anything about another American Angel reunion? I know Xenon was putting something together. I know they were in the studio, supposedly recording the follow-up album. They all look really old now. Oh, because they're really old now. Yeah, back in October, they were in the studio. I remember a girl that I dated, her best friend's dad worked at a delivery company in New Jersey. And Joey, the singer for Xenon, also worked as a delivery person at that company. And that girl's, my girlfriend's best friend's sister was like 12, and she wanted to go see them in concert. And I remember Jen, who I was dating, and Val, I think her name was like, "What's the chance of you like taking her when they're playing?" I said, "Zero chance. I'm not taking a 12-year-old girl to a Xenon concert, and then I'm responsible for her. No, you want to go take your sister, knock yourself out. I am not doing that." I don't even think she could have gotten in anyway. I was going to ask you if you ever dated anyone who wasn't a metalhead, but I'm going to add besides Shelley. Um, my first my first ex-wife was not really into. She was into top 40 crappy music. That 1990s garbage that was on the radio. My second ex-wife really didn't listen to a lot of music. She basically just listened to whatever I put on, and she didn't care. Shelley listens to country music and 80s music. The girl I was with before Shelley for 6 years, she was uh, a former hippie, and so she listened to Sublime, The Grateful Dead, uh, Widespread Panic, all those jam bands that you gotta be smoking weed in order to enjoy. So she listened to all that garbage. I don't think I've dated a lot of women that were into metal. Ches says, "Well, I don't know that I'd call Wargasm country." Oh no, it's country because Shelley listens to them. Does Shelley have a favorite artist band? Yes, Brad Paisley. Brad Paisley is her go-to. That was the concert I took her to about 5 years ago. How is Wargasm not? Don't listen to Chad. He's just trying to rile you up. Oh, that's right. Shelly is a Texan. No, she's a proud Florida girl. Born and raised. Her and four other people were born here in Florida. Here we go. Don't say his name, Chad. Don't say his name. You've been so good. You've been so good for 2-3 days. I dated that writer chick for a little bit, but and she was definitely a metalhead. But the problem was she veered towards the pot smoking stuff. She was more into like the doom metal and shit like that. She's like, "Oh, have you heard the new Trouble album?" I'm like, "No thanks, no thanks." Chess says, "I'm going to go look in the mirror and say his name 3 times." Geezer Butler, she's redheaded. No, she was not. She was not redheaded. I don't know if you ever met her. I don't want to say her name. I know she was at Nikon. Me, Chuck, and JC hung out with her. But then when people started taking pictures, she ran away. She did not want to get in a picture with me because she had a boyfriend that she's living with up in Maine. But we dated for a little bit, but I knew that wasn't going to be. I was like, I don't want to be with somebody whose whole life revolves around smoking weed. We went to, if I know who it is, I've forgotten. Yeah, I don't think you. Yeah, right. You got it. I did hang out with her. The first weekend I hung out with her, we went to the Brass Mug in Tampa, which is where all the death metal bands started in. George from I was going to say Ripping Corpse, Cannibal Corpse, one of his many, many side bands was playing that. And I got to hang out. All the guys from Cannibal Corpse were there, and some dude from Nasty Savage was there. All kinds of people. She knew everybody, which is great. So that was cool hanging out with her. We had a lot of sex that weekend. But then she kept going out onto her balcony and smoking weed. I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that. Just that's not my thing. And I think we went to a convention that weekend too. I think that's why I went there. We went to some maybe Oasis convention or something. But I was like, yeah, I can't drive to Tampa every other weekend. And at that point I was living at my mom's and dad's house. Like, you can't come hang out here. I got kids. You're not meeting my kids. And I don't think you want to hear hey, mom and dad, we're going to be having sex in the dining room here. She love you for your cosmic brownie, probably. And so I remember I told her, I gave her this BS. I'm like, well, it's just too far. And, and then I stopped seeing her. She was very upset because, all this. And then, like, maybe a month later, I started dating Shelly. And then she came on my Facebook and she's like, oh, you can't date me, drive 2 hours, but this girl lives in Jacksonville 2 hours. So if you ever see me at a convention or anything, ignore me because I'll be ignoring you. Chaz, I'm out of here. Going to read an app. Enjoy your days. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming in. I will see you tomorrow. Positive Good Friday tomorrow. Positive Good Friday. And then I saw her at Nikon, and I had been drinking a little bit. JC had been drinking a lot. Chuck was blitzed, loaded. Peace, he says. And I said to her, hey, I just want to apologize for the way that all went down. And she went, what? I said, no, it was a shitty way to to break up with you. I said, I read your stuff. She had put out a couple of books at that point. I said, I read your stuff. I like it. I gave you good reviews. And she was like, thank you. I appreciate that. And then I remember we talked for a little bit, and then people started taking pictures. She walked away, and Chuck's like, oh man, if they didn't start taking pictures, you could have brought her back to our room. We could have banged her together. I said, listen, I'm not banging her. And here's the thing, I definitely ain't banging her with you, Chuck. Calm that down. And then he gave that big Chuck laugh, which I thought was funny. All right, people, I hit my 2 hours. I appreciate it. Thanks for the frozen pizza talk and everything else. That's why, Frank, you need to be on here every day, because you got to keep the momentum going. I will see everybody tomorrow. Positive Good Friday tomorrow. So don't eat meat. Chuck grabbed JC. Yeah. JC downed that whole bottle of spiced rum. Dory, whatever that means. All right, everybody. Keep watching videos. Keep subscribing. We're getting there. We're getting there. Soon, within a week or so, we're going to be there. Or we're going to be square. That's what us young kids still say.